Hello and welcome to the Tweetcore Radio Hour. I'm your host, Mark Schuster, and I invite you to join me on my ongoing quest to seek out great new music, independent artists that we discover together in the far reaches of the social media universe.
What did you think of the tracks?
I think they sound great. Your voice is sounding really good.
Good. I only did Brand New Sunrise maybe 300 or 400 times. So,
Okay, good. So I think that was exactly the number you should have done them because they sound perfect.
I spent many hours trying to hit that just right note. And I think that's interesting because I guess we're talking about singing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been pondering that as we're also talking about starting the next album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so much about... I think we've got everyone's got a range.
Yeah.
I think it's just your actual physical frame or whatever the dynamics are kind of define that. And some people have these really huge ranges and everyone has small ones. And I think we can work to push with correct technique and that stuff to push that limit, out a little bit.
Yeah.
But you do bump up against constraints of what you can do. And I imagine for a lot of people, it's really, I know that personally, I get really frustrated when I'm just oh yeah, this is where it needs to go. And it's
yeah, so you were saying that when you're playing live, you have your guitar and just the physical vibrations that the guitar makes can guide your voice. So what is it that you did to give yourself that same vibration when you're recording, but not playing the guitar?
I basically, and I feel like it's important, is that I've got, through the Brainwork stuff, a crispy scale. This is what the plugin is called. And then I just run your music through it, and then it tells me what key it's in. So basically, then I just pick the key of the song, find a nice note that I can hear in my head. But what it allows me to do is just because that note in the key, the root of the key, is in my head between my ears, I can focus on the other parts of the performance because whenever I need to check in, it's there. And I can just sing into that spot.
It might come as a surprise to wake up to a brand new sunrise, a hidden world you can't surmise, a private universe. I hope to find you there. I hope to find you there.
All right, that was me and Brian Lambert. We're talking about our new album we're working on. It's called... Actually, we don't have a name for the album yet. Come to think of it, we're still working on it. In any case, what you just heard is a clip from one of the songs we're working on, and that song is called Brand New Sunrise. Going to keep working on that album as the year goes on. Hope to keep you updated with our progress. In the meantime, you are listening to the Tweetcore Radio Hour. I figure I should mention that every now and then, just in case anyone just happens to accidentally tune in and they've never heard the show before. It could happen, in theory. In any case, as always, I'm bringing you the finest of underground indie music, indie underground music. I forget, we talked a little bit about this a while back. I think it was me and Brian. A couple of other people chimed in. Whatever you call it, let's just say it is some pretty cool music. Case in point, this next tune. Here is Snap Infraction with Window Seat.
Sitting window on a plane that takes me far away from all I And if one day you should try and track me down, you should know I'll disappear without a sound. Takes me to the only place I call home. Maybe one day things will change, but for now I've got no reason to fall back into believing anyway.
That was What's Kraken, Kraken, by Rusty Shipp. Shipp with 2 P's. His actual name is Russ T. Shipp. He goes by Rusty Shipp. Very cool stuff. Found out about Rusty Shipp same way I find out about a lot of music I feature on the show. I read about him first on Jeff Archuleta's Eclectic Music Lover blog. I've mentioned it before. I will probably mention it again, but you should definitely check it out. eclecticmusiclover.com. You can always find some good stuff there. I actually think Rusty Shipp would sound good on a bill with Bees and with Unlucky Mammals. I think they'd all complement each other pretty well. Love to see all 3 of them live at a show sometime. Could happen. Rusty Shipp's from Nashville, I believe. Bees and Unlucky Mammals are from the Philadelphia area. I don't know, someone could go on tour. Their paths could cross. But let's hear some Unlucky Mammals and some Bees, and you can decide for yourself if you think they'd sound good together. Here's Engines by Unlucky Mammals, and we'll follow that with Bees playing One by One.
All right, we're good.
Coming for us, tried to warn us, but we all turned a blind eye. Also spoiled, burning oil, now the bill comes due, we pay the price. Crops are dying, storm winds flying, soon we're drowning in the melting ice. Our only hope's to build a boat and float above the rising tide.
bit of Unlucky Mammals there, followed by Bees. Once again, as I often point out, that's Bees with an exclamation point. Bees! Sorry if I startled anyone there. I play both of those bands pretty regularly on this show. Usually I play another couple of songs, though. Usually I play Socratic Meathead by Unlucky Mammals, which is a really great tune. And I often play Hot Frogs by Bees, and I think those two songs go together. And those two would definitely complement that song I was playing by Rusty Shipp. That song, again, was called What's Kraken? And, you know, the obvious question, well, then why didn't I just play those two songs alongside What's Kraken? But, you know, that's just how we roll here at the Tweetcore Radio Hour. We're crazy. You never know what I'm going to play next.
Hushed crickets wait.
I'm a mason. You're small of a boy in a mountain. I guess this forever searching for the confirmation of success, please. So success, please. Bump it about the squirming impulses. Well, I'm impulses. And I'm impulsive. See, don't need to raise your kids, and that's why we're idiots. And you're here to regret it. Give me a few more years. Got turned to suicide from cynic. You say take my life, I'm finished. You say take my life away. Find me pretty, find me pretty, find me pretty doo-doo. You found me pretty doo-doo. Oh, doo. Found me pretty doo, please. Pretty please. Found me pretty, find me pretty, find me pretty doo-doo. You found me pretty doo-doo. Oh, doo. Found me pretty doo, please. Pretty please. Oh. Who shapes the discourse? Governments and generals. Who holds the ears close? I do. Keeping blind to all my life. Shit, I'm too busy, see, with my face in the middle of a glossy magazine. So find me pretty, find me pretty, find me pretty doo-doo. You found me pretty doo-doo. Oh, doo. Found me pretty doo, please. Pretty please, yeah. Find me pretty, find me pretty, find me pretty doo-doo. You found me pretty doo-doo. Oh, doo. Found me pretty doo, please. Pretty please. Find me pretty doo, please. Say I'm a mason, small of a boy in a mountain. I guess it's forever searching for the confirmation of success. Success. Can you know it's all you got to be? Say misery loves company. Pretty please, pretty please.
Some interesting tracks there. Just heard Charlie Black with Pretty Please. And before that, it was Moon on the Bayou by J.C. Miller. How did I discover those two tracks? I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed. I saw J.C. Miller posted a picture, really cool picture, of his gold sparkle Gretsch guitar, saying he's working on a music video for that track. So I figured I'd check it out. And, you know, I liked it. So I figured, hey, share it with the whole Tweetcore crowd. And I was scrolling along a little further. I saw a tweet from Fendaline. We've played their music before. Chris Triggs turned us on to them. Our good friend Chris Triggs. Fendaline had this to say: just came across Charlie Black for the first time and am hooked. Check his most recent single. Some really nice sounds coming out on here. And a relentless acoustic that really ties everything together. And I gotta say, I agree. That acoustic does really tie everything together. And I'm hearing, I don't know, echoes of the beautiful South. Paul Heaton? The vocal reminds me of Paul Heaton on that one. Anyway, if you agree, look him up. His name's Charlie Black. It's a little complicated because the A is actually a V. It's Chvrli Blvck. Being a little clever there. And before that, of course, it was J.C. Miller, spelled as you might guess. The I's an I, the L's an L, the E's an E. Straightforward kind of guy, that J.C. Miller, with straightforward kind of music that I really like. I love that harmonica on there. Really haunting. And you know, I feel like we haven't heard that many songs about bayous in a long time. We used to have Born on the Bayou, and we'd have Blue Bayou. And, okay, now we're back. Now we're back with some bayou music, which is pretty cool. Again, J.C. Miller's track was called Moon on the Bayou. Up next, a song from a band called the Wyse, spelled W-Y-S-E, from their album, We'll Buy You a Hot Dog. Bayou, of course, spelled B-U-Y-Y-O-U. Get it? I thought you'd like that one. The song is called Brown Velvet Touch.
To find a reason to keep alive, lost in the ways of love. Honey, won't you come over here and give
day surprise. In my dreams I was dancing, it felt something like her. Did you miss what I said? Did you misunderstand? I'll say it again, I'll say it loud. Underwater, breathe out dreams that are slowly. I am beside myself in a different way. I know you're here with me, your body's free. All that you were made to be. Underwater, breathe out dreams that are slowly. I am beside myself in a different way. I know you're here with me, your body's free. All that you were made to be. All that you were made to be.
Nice little tune from a band called Fine. And I believe that just like with bees, you're supposed to shout, bees! I think with Fine, you're just kind of supposed to say it under your breath, like, fine. Whatever the case. That song is called Breathe Out, Dreams 2. Breathe Out's in parentheses. And that's from the album Love, Death, Dreams, and the Sleep Between. Came out in December on the Subjangle label. Definitely hearing echoes of Bell and Sebastian on that one. Especially that little synth riff at the beginning. Wait, let me play that for you. That bit sounds to me like it's a bit of an homage to, there's a great Bell and Sebastian song called Another Sunny Day. One of my favorite Bell and Sebastian songs, actually. And here's what that riff sounds like, just in case you're curious. So yeah, definitely hearing a bit of a Bell and Sebastian influence on the band Fine. Or, if you pronounce it the way I'm thinking it might be, Fine. As in, fine, yes, Bell and Sebastian is one of our influences. In any case, you can find that track and the whole album, all of Fine's catalog, on Bandcamp. Definitely look them up. I like their sound a lot. Another band you could find on Bandcamp, whose sound I like, Grant and Company, out of Baltimore, Maryland. I think my friend Chris Triggs of the La La Let's might like this one. Just going out on a little bit of a limb there, predicting that. So Chris, if you're listening, drop me a line. Let me know what you think of this next one. It's called Stop by Grant and Company from their album Acts of Love.
Thank you.
That was Stop by Grant and Company. And you know, if we're talking about influences, obviously hearing perhaps not even just echoes of The Who and their song, Who Are You, but most likely a sample in there, I'm guessing. It sounds very, very much like the original, which I'm totally cool with. I mean, just like the homage that we heard in that song by Fine, I think that when you are quoting or sampling a musical phrase that a lot of people know, it's not like you're trying to present someone else's work as your own. It's more like you're saying, hey, here is music that means an awful lot to me. And with that sample from The Who, anyone who knows The Who is going to know those sounds. And anyone who knows classic rock is probably going to be familiar with them. So it's not like anyone saying, oh, wow, Grant and Company has this amazing sound that they just developed. They're saying, oh, wow, Grant and Company obviously loves The Who, which is actually a fact. I remember I was talking to Pat Grant of Grant and Company a long time ago, and this was in the 90s, and he was just talking about how much he has always loved The Who, and specifically how impressed he was that Can't Explain was their first song. He just said as far as a first single goes for that time period, just an amazing track. I think we had that conversation in Doc Watson's pub in Philadelphia. I think. I could be wrong. Memory fails me sometimes, but if it happened, it would have been 94, 95. Pat Grant, if you're listening, drop me a line. Let me know. Am I remember that correctly? Set me straight if I'm wrong. I'll let the listeners know. I'm sure they're dying to know. And just in case anyone's not familiar with that song by The Who, here's a little riff. Here's what Pat's playing. Here's what Pat Grant of Grant and Company has in his song, and then I'm going to follow that with just a snippet of what Pete Townsend is doing on that song by The Who. All right, so that was Pat Grant, and here's The Who with Who Are You? And just a snippet, because we're all about Tweetcore. And, The Who might be a little too popular or too well-known to really be considered part of our club. So apologies to Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. You're just not Tweetcore. Okay, you get the picture. So basically, yeah, I'm thinking maybe a sample. Maybe it's sped up a little bit, but definitely that Who influence there when we're listening to Grant and Company. But I imagine that is, to some extent, what music's all about. Standing on the shoulders of giants, building on what's come before us, paying respect where respect is due, but then moving forward. So we're all about here in the Tweetcore scene, moving forward, which is why I'm just going to keep playing some music. Here's Teledeath with The Hunter.
I am the hunter. I am the key. I'm the river running down into your sea. I know your inner hunter. Take what I want, take who I want. Ooh, yeah. The hunter. Take what I want, take who I want. Take what I want, take who I want. Ooh, yeah. The hunter. Take what I want, take who I want. Take what I want, take who I want. What I want, take who I want. Ooh, yeah. The hunter. Take what I want, take who I want.
That was The Hunter by Teledeath. Really love those synth sounds. Really grungy, gritty synth sounds. Calls to mind the 80s, thinking of the Human League, bands of that ilk. Also calls to mind another artist I'm a huge fan of, and that is Blvck. I played a Blvck tune a couple weeks ago. Gonna play him again as we near the end of the show. Blvck, as you may recall, won Best EP, I think, in the Lights and Lines album writing competition. That EP was called 3 Weights. It's the Roman numeral 3 plus the word weights. And fun fact, I was interviewing him recently. That interview is going to show up on my blog in the very near future, but I was interviewing him, and he explained that he used that Roman numeral 3 as kind of a visual pun. It's I. And the idea is these are songs that are of a more personal nature. So he's writing about himself, which is pretty cool. But like I said, we're running out of time, so I'm just going to leave you with this little tune. Thank you once again for joining me for the Tweetcore Radio Hour. I'm Mark Schuster. Can't wait to spend some time with you next week. Here is Blvck.
I'll open up the can of worms. I'll pick a thread, unravel it all.
like